King Midas is one of the most well-known figures in Greek mythology, remembered for his legendary ability to turn anything he touched into gold. His story is a cautionary tale about greed, wisdom, and the consequences of unchecked desires. Though often associated with wealth and prosperity, the myth of Midas highlights the dangers of material obsession and serves as a lesson about what truly holds value in life. According to the myth, Midas was a king of Phrygia, a region in ancient Anatolia. He was known for his immense wealth and his love of riches, but also for his foolishness and lack of wisdom. His desire for greater fortune led him to an encounter with the god Dionysus. One day, Midas discovered the satyr Silenus, a companion of Dionysus, who had wandered into his kingdom in a drunken state. Instead of punishing or driving him away, Midas treated him with kindness, providing him with food and shelter. In gratitude for his hospitality, Dionysus offered Midas a reward. He could have anything he desired. Without hesitation, Midas wished for the power to turn everything he touched into gold. At first, Midas was overjoyed by his new ability. He touched a table, a chair, and even the walls of his palace, watching in delight as they transformed into shining gold. He imagined himself as the richest man in the world, capable of creating limitless wealth with a simple touch. However, his joy soon turned to horror when he realized the full consequences of his wish. When he tried to eat, his food turned to solid gold before he could take a bite. Even the wine he attempted to drink turned to gold, making it impossible to swallow. Hunger and thirst soon set in, but he was powerless to satisfy them. The true tragedy of his gift struck when his beloved daughter, in some versions of the myth named Marigold, ran to embrace him. The moment he touched her, she was instantly transformed into a lifeless golden statue. Devastated, Midas realized that his desire for wealth had cost him everything that truly mattered. No longer able to bear his cursed gift, he desperately prayed to Dionysus for mercy, begging the god to take back his power. Dionysus, taking pity on Midas, instructed him to wash his hands in the river Pactolus. As Midas submerged his hands in the flowing water, the golden touch was washed away, restoring everything he had turned to gold, including his daughter. From that moment on, the sands of the Pactolus River were said to carry gold, which, according to legend, explained why the river was historically rich with gold deposits. Having learned his lesson, Midas renounced his obsession with wealth. Some versions of the myth suggest that he abandoned his riches and chose to live a humble life in the countryside, realizing that true happiness did not come from gold, but from love, relationships, and the simple pleasures of life. However, another myth suggests that his folly did not end there. In a later tale, Midas became involved in a musical contest between the god Apollo and the satyr Pan. Pan, the god of shepherds, played a lively and rustic tune on his panpipes, while Apollo performed an elegant melody on his lyre. Most of the audience agreed that Apollo's music was superior, but Midas, perhaps due to his lingering foolishness, declared Pan the winner. Enraged by this poor judgment, Apollo punished Midas by transforming his ears into those of a donkey, symbolizing his ignorance and lack of discernment. Ashamed of his new appearance, Midas tried to hide his donkey ears beneath a turban or a crown. Only his barber knew the truth, and the secret weighed heavily on him. Unable to keep it to himself any longer, the barber whispered it into a hole in the ground, then covered the hole with soil. However, reeds later grew in that spot, and as the wind blew through them, they whispered the truth to the world. King Midas has donkey ears. Humiliated, Midas finally learned that pride and foolishness often lead to downfall. The myth of King Midas is more than just a story about wealth. It carries a deeper moral about the dangers of greed, the importance of wisdom, and the consequences of short-sighted desires. Midas' first mistake was his belief that gold equaled happiness, only to find that his wealth left him starving and alone. His second mistake in the musical contest was his failure to recognize true talent, leading to further humiliation. Both tales emphasize the need for balance, wisdom, and the ability to see beyond material wealth and superficial desires. Midas remains an enduring figure in literature and popular culture, often referenced in discussions about greed and the pursuit of riches. The phrase Midas touch has become synonymous with financial success, but the original myth serves as a warning that unchecked ambition and materialism can lead to ruin. His story continues to be retold as a lesson about the true nature of wealth, not in gold, but in wisdom, gratitude, and the appreciation of life's simple joys.